It is Tuesday. It's noon. Everybody's on lunch. I just got back from physical therapy with my wife. Technically, I'm on FMLA, so I can take her to her appointments and things of that nature, but I'm still working. So it's been an interesting kind of, went to Utah for a week. I really shouldn't have, but they were really shorthanded, so I kind of had to go. I mean, I guess I didn't have to, but it would have put our department in a really bad situation. So luckily, we were able to pull that off. Now I'm just carting my wife around, and she's doing really, really well. She's recovering from her surgery very nicely. She's recovering faster. You know, in my profession, I do case management, so I watch medical cases. That's one of the things I manage. And I see how fast guys are generally recovering from similar surgeries. And her progress is outstanding. Of course, you know, some of those guys probably sandbag a little because they don't want to go back to work, or maybe they're not taking their recovery as seriously as she is. And she's like me. She's a gym rat. She's a meathead. So, you know, she goes after it. And so she's healing very, very well. Here on last night's training, we did sparring. What they do is they pair everybody up, and we go 2 rounds each, and then we switch partners. And I got my butt kicked by a 90-pound girl. She was pretty good, and I had to go 2 times with her. You know, we went once, and it was fun. I let her go as hard as she wanted to, and she was piecing me up. And then after that was done, I was like, thank God. But then everybody paired up, and nobody took her. So I'm looking at her, I'm like, oh, I guess we're going another round. Sweet. And I'm all acting like, yeah, no big deal. I'm like, oh, Lord, mercy. Good Lord. She's pretty good, though. I introduced her to my daughter, and I told her my daughter trains, and she's going to be you in a few years. So that was kind of cool. Got them talking. I was like, look, honey, you know, this is what you could be with some serious training. And, you know, my daughter had a good time watching her beat me up. She was cheering her on the whole time. I never keep hearing her background. You probably can't, but I don't think she was cheering for me. You know, I was trying to think about what to talk about in this video. There's a lot of different topics I wanted to talk about. I've been doing a lot of research on PEDs and longevity, and I've been doing just a ton of research. There's a lot going on in the world. We've got the Trump administration, the inauguration, and all that. There's lots to talk about there. I've got a lot of things going on in the family, work. You know, I've got my wife recovering from surgery. There's a ton going on. I'm having difficulty with time management. I thought that would be an interesting topic. But I don't know. I had this overwhelming feeling of sadness this morning, you know, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I was like, what are you sad about? Like, what's going on? I guess it's a combination of things. I was having like a little pity party. You know, for a minute there, I was doing those live streams, and I was getting 100 subscribers a live stream. I was getting, you know, 400,000 views a month for a channel as big as mine. That's incredible. And then, you know, I'm watching it taper off, and you know, for 2 hours I get online and we have fun conversations, but essentially I'm just sort of taking abuse from people. And I was just starting to wonder, is the juice worth the squeeze? You know, I got like 10 subs from this last one. I don't know. But what am I doing this for? You know, it kind of got me thinking, like, am I doing this for subscribers? Am I doing this for views? Or is the original vision of what I wanted to make this YouTube channel for, is that still my primary focus? Because one thing I notice is it's really, really easy to get addicted to the attention. You know, before I didn't have any attention. We were talking to the same 20 people we always talk to, and I was using YouTube essentially as like an online training, you know, like training with friends online, and we show our videos, and it's like, whatever, no big deal. Now it's starting to evolve into something serious. Money's starting to trickle in. You know, I always said I wanted to make enough money to cover my training, and if I get consistently what I'm starting to get now, it'll cover that and more. Like, yeah, absolutely. So I'm meeting that goal. And I was like, well, what do I want? I'm losing my focus. You know, I'm maybe getting stuck in the mire, you know. It's like it's really easy to get addicted to the. When I get online and I stream and I'm talking to everybody, good and bad. Sometimes we have really good conversations. Sometimes we laugh at the trolls. Sometimes it's, you know, the trolls laugh at us. It's whatever. We're just having a good time. But it does take away focus from my training. And it takes a lot of time. It's some 2-3 hours, you know, for workouts that I can get done in 20 minutes. You know, it takes time away from my family. You know, work schedule's picking up. I won't always have time to do this. So, you know, I got to thinking, it's like, well, what am I doing? What am I doing? I guess that's the overwhelming feeling that I had this morning, is that I feel lost. I've had this cold for 3 weeks. I still can't breathe through my nose. You know, I went to the doctor and I got a checkup. You know, doing the sparring, people were wondering, like, well, how's your cardio, you know? And I was wearing those kids out. Like, they were slowing down before me. I'm a 50-year-old man. So I thought, man, okay, I'm doing all right, you know? Like, I'm at least outlasting these kids. And even though last night the group wasn't like the last one I went up against a couple professional fighters, and they wore me the hell out. And tonight it was more of a mixed group. It was more people like on my end of the experience level. So they didn't all train as hard as I do. So it's hard to use that as a baseline comparison. It's more anecdotal than anything. But the bottom line was, I was still running around 20-year-olds. And I felt pretty good, even though I have these breathing problems and I'm losing my voice. And I guess I'm sick of being sick of being tired. And a lot of that is, it's just a combination of everything. I think I'm doing too much. I'm trying to do too much. I'm trying to be everything to everyone. You know, I'm training for competition, and when I get online, I want to show off my lifts and go as heavy as I can. That takes a toll. And on top of that, I'm doing this training, and, you know, it's very physical, and that takes a toll. Now I'm hurting. Like this morning, I woke up, my knees are, Lord, I had a hard time bending my knees. My hips hurt from that girl kicking me in the thigh. She kicked me in the thigh like 20 times. I wasn't blocking it properly. And they didn't hurt, but it started to add up. And I knew, I was like, oh man, I'm going to pay for this in the morning. It's pretty funny. My wife asked me, she's like, you like abuse, don't you? I said, you know, I don't know if I would call it abuse, but I do. I kind of like getting hit. You know, there's getting punched in the face. It's just like, it's kind of fun. I don't know how to describe it. It's awful and it's fun at the same time. I guess it's just fun to kind of scrap it up a little bit. You know, we're not going hard, you know, but those little bonks, even though you're not hitting hard, like just take your hand and just bonk yourself in the head a couple, like just like that. Just do that. Now imagine doing that for an hour. Like that adds up. You know, after a while that starts to really get irritating. But we're laughing and we're having a good time, and you know, oh, good one, bro. You know, some guys are really angry and serious, and they don't have a sense of humor. And some of them are like me; they're just lighthearted and they don't care. And the other people, you know, it's just like you get a whole mix of people and a whole bunch of different personalities, and it's interesting to see how different people react to getting slapped in the face. I laugh; I think it's hilarious, and I think some of the serious guys, when I laugh when they punch me, they don't know what to do with that. They think I'm insulting them, like I'm laughing at their efforts, and I'm like, no, I'm laughing because that was a good one, you know, like a good one, bro. Like you got me, you know. So that's all that is. I would say the one thing that bums me out about the streams is the way YouTube has it set up. It's kind of neat because they're doing, if you do streams with 916, you're basically your phone profile, it'll kind of put you on a recommendation list, much like the shorts. So people can just flip through and find a stream that they find interesting. And I was doing it while sitting on my toilet, and I could see how scrolling through is addictive. You see something you're interested in, you maybe watch it, you're live, you're on their thing. And after a minute, if it's boring, you just move on to the next. And so a lot of the views are transitory. And it's interesting to see, this last stream I did, I decided to take the comments off, the holding inappropriate comments, and it got demonetized. I didn't talk about anything different. It was just I let the comments go, and YouTube, they gave me partial monetization. So just allowing people to talk foul language crap to me is the reason why that last video got demonetized. And it just got me thinking, it's like, I don't understand what makes a person want to, or do you get enjoyment from just kind of making fun of people? And there's a lot of people that do it. Now, I get a lot of my content by embracing that. You know what I mean? Somebody will say something funny. If it's about me, we'll joke about it and we'll have a good laugh. And that's how I've gotten a lot of my subscribers. A lot of people have subscribed to me because they said, you know what, you're kind of cool. You're not uptight, and it's enjoyable. And that helps me. But at the same time, I got to thinking, it's like, man, I guess I'm just not that way. It's not my nature, even if I don't like somebody, to just leave disparaging comments. Now, that's not to say I've never talked crap to anybody online. I have. There's people that have relentlessly attacked me, and I talk crap back to them. But generally speaking, I'm just not that guy. Even if I see a lift that's ugly or not done correctly, I don't care, you know what I mean? Or somebody says, well, this guy's using fake weights, what do you think about that? I'm like, good for him. Doesn't affect me any. Or they accuse me of using fake weights, whatever. Whatever the disparaging comment is, and it would never occur to me in a million years to comment on somebody else's physique. And, most people aren't built like me, and I have my flaws, obviously. I get really bad bloating, and sometimes I got sticks out or whatever. Guys tell me my legs are skinny constantly, and it just never would occur to me to go on someone's channel and pick out a physical feature and point it out to them. Like, why would I do that? I mean, like, a lot of people are overweight, a lot of people are trying to get into shape, and like, for me to pick something out, like, hey, you're whatever, you got man tits or something, like, why would I do that? Like, if anything, I want to encourage people. It's like, hell yeah, man, get after it. Or maybe they're doing partial reps, or their squats aren't all the way down. It's like, I don't care. I'm just glad to see people are working out. It just would never occur to me to do that. But people are relentless. And I'll be the first to admit, even though I do try to have fun with it, it does kind of wear on you after a while, because when you hear nothing but negativity, you start thinking, like, wow, maybe I am messed up. Maybe there's something wrong with me. And then on top of that, people are constantly pointing out my physical flaws. And we're not talking about weightlifting. It's like, my channel's a powerlifting channel. I got a barbell with, 500 pounds on it. Not one person asks me about that. They're all asking, or they're telling me that I have Palumboism or something because when I sit, my gut's not stuck in or something. It's just like, and then this, of course, the PED conversation. It's just, it's so aggravating because it's such a low resolution conversation. We have a tendency to think that other people think the way we do. And when you get to know people, you find out they don't. A lot of people don't think the way you do at all. And if you're the type of person like me who likes to do research, they like to learn about the body, they like to learn about biology, they like to learn about science. Most people are not curious about that at all. They don't care. And a lot of people get their information off of TikTok. A lot of people that disparage the use of PEDs or performance-enhancing drugs and things of that nature don't know the first thing about them. They know nothing about how they're deployed, how they're used, how long you use them for, what you use them for, motivations, the whole 9 yards. They just know that they're bad. If you take this, you're going to get really, really big. Are you? I don't know. So the point is, it's like, just sowing your pearls before swine. What's the point of even trying to talk to them, because their minds are already made up? So generally speaking, like you can't have a good conversation. It's such a bummer because there's so much good and bad to it, and it's worth learning all of it. And it got me thinking. How long am I going to do this for? I can't do it forever. I know that. And the level I'm doing it at, even if it is safe, quote unquote safe, there is still downstream effects. Would that affect long-term longevity. The oxidative stress on the body, it still will shorten my lifespan, even if it's a couple of years. Maybe those years would suck, and I don't want to live them anyways, but the bottom line is I could live to be 100. I don't know what my genetics are, but I'm definitely shortening my lifespan. So how long would I want to do that for? I'm 50. I'm starting to get to where those years count. Tomorrow's promised to no one, and I'm at that age where, there's no guarantee that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I could die of a heart attack, and people will be like, "Oh, well, he's 50. That makes sense." Yeah, the guy uses PEDs. Of course he did. I got young kids. I don't want to die. I want to live. But, I still want to achieve things. So I'm in a weird place where I'm at a crossroads, and I'm not sure what to do. I do know that I really, really enjoy Muay Thai, but I'm really bad at it. I think that if I switched focus from powerlifting to combat sports, I could get good. But again, I'm 50 years old. What am I going to do with that? I'm not going to become a professional fighter. Nobody becomes a professional fighter at my age. I don't think I'm good enough to be one anyways. But I want to train as if, just to see how good can I get. But then I have fear behind that because everything I've gotten is probably based off of this physique. Maybe it's my personality, maybe it's the way I engage people, maybe it's the conversations I have. But there is a draw. The thing that draws people to my channel in the first place, the reason why they might stop to check me out, is probably because of my physique. And if I switch from powerlifting and start focusing on combat sports, am I going to lose all that? I'm obviously not going to. It's a lot more cardio. It's a lot more, body weight stuff. It's a different kind of strength. I'll probably lose some of this. I don't know. Would I want to even stay this heavy? I'd be a lot lighter on my feet if I dropped down to 195, 220 right now. I don't know. So there's a lot of fear. It's it's the fear of change. Generally speaking, though, every time I've been afraid of changing and I've tried to hold on stubbornly, eventually I made the change and I wound up being happy I did. A good example would be the training I was doing. For a while, my friend Prophet Fear wanted me to start training differently, and I was really stubborn. I didn't want to stop doing what I was doing because it got me to where I was, but where I was becoming untenable. I was starting to injure myself. I was wearing my body out. I was just resistant, stubborn. I didn't want to change. I was set in my ways. I finally went ahead and started incorporating some of his ideas, and people like Dr. Mike Israel and things of that nature. I started switching the way I train, and I found it's a lot better. It's a lot better for guys my age. It's a lot better for, joint mobility, longevity, hypertrophy, everything. I don't know I still can't decide if it's good for powerlifting, top end strength. I don't have enough evidence to support yes or no. So far, it hasn't taken away from my top end strength at all, and I feel better. So, that's just a good example. Here's a really simple one. I had DirecTV for the longest time. I was paying $300 a month. I had the whole package. Everybody was streaming on these Amazon Fire Sticks. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. What do you mean I'm going to get rid of DirecTV and I'm going to get this little Amazon Fire Stick and maybe pay $20 a month instead of $300? What's going to happen with cable? I still got to have internet? I was just one of those old curmudgeons that just didn't want to give it up. So I had DirecTV for about a year longer than everybody else. And when I finally made the change, the Fire Stick was awesome. It was way better than DirecTV. I'm like, wow, why did I wait so long? I'm like that. I get stuck in my ways and I don't want to change. But then when I do make the change, I find it's better. So is that one of these situations where, I'm holding on because I'm comfortable? It's like the devil, you know that you're not living 100% the way you could be. You know that you're sacrificing maybe health and longevity. You know that what you're doing isn't the best way if you want to stick around for a long time, but you're still afraid to give it up because you like where you're at and you're holding on to that. That's kind of where I feel like I'm at right now. And the thing is if I wasn't competing at such a high level, and I didn't have a chance of breaking some serious records, I probably would just make the switch. And then I got to thinking, like, so even if I get the records, is anyone going to care anyways? Like, what's that going to mean? You know, like, who am I doing it for? So a lot of it's just like reflecting on self-motivation. You know, why am I doing what I'm doing? Is this just a midlife crisis I'm going through? Just having one of those days where I'm just reflecting and questioning and trying to figure out what the hell are you doing? I'm at a crossroads. I can go a bunch of different directions, and I'm not sure which one to take. I do know that I'm really grateful that my YouTube channel has taken off, but it seems like that's starting to taper off a little. So we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, it's been very enjoyable. And to all of my new subscribers, I hope you stick with me. I'm going to train to compete. And until I'm done with this March 15 competition, nothing changes. I'm going to go at it 100%. Like, I don't do anything half-assed. So you get to see, starting February, I'll be doing a 6-week training program. And you get to see what is really involved with prepping for a competition. The whole everything. Like the training, the diet, the supplements, everything. You're going to see it all. So stick with me at least for that much. And in the meantime, I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, I guess. Now, as far as the Muay Thai training is concerned, I don't know. I had this, like, I guess I thought I was a lot better than I am. You know, I was getting pretty decent at boxing, and I'm switching to a sport, and it's like I'm starting from scratch. I'm finding that when I'm sparring people, I'm really afraid to engage, so I'm throwing these little, you'll see me like hold, like that's an opening. I had the guy and I pulled my punch. So I'm not hitting my opponent's back, and I don't know what the mental block is for that. When we were sparring with boxing, we would wear headgear. They don't wear headgear in Muay Thai. We do have mouth guards in. So a lot of, I don't know. It's I have to get over this fear of engaging. I'm not going back at my opponent, and I don't know what that's about. I don't know where that mental blocks come from. I mean, I'm afraid to hurt somebody, and a lot of these kids are so young. I look at them like my son, beating up a kid, but a lot of these kids are way better than me, so I need to get over it. I feel like I'm maybe being even disrespectful with how hard I'm going. You'll see, like, you could watch the video, I'm just not engaging. I'm not throwing punches. I'm throwing these little pillow tosses. But I'm getting better with every practice, every training session. I'm getting a little bit better, a little lighter on my feet, a little more confident. And I'm just going to keep pushing it and just see where I can take this. Because I am having the time of my life. I guess it's kind of depressing because it's like I'm really bad at it, but I really love doing it. And I think I am the oldest guy out there. And I think the only person that's older is the guy that owns the gym and is training. So, I mean, not that matters, but it's just for perspective. I've had a couple people saying that they were inspired that I was out there doing it. And I'm like, well, how old are you? 45. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know. I'm having fun. I feel like a kid, but I pay the price every time. It hurts in the morning. And here I am. I'm probably going to wrap up and do some bag drills. I might even get online and do a live stream. We'll see. But until then, I'm going to get back at it. I love you guys. And I'll see you on the battlefield.